Okay. Jordan, Michael, Izzy, you guys on the wheel? So you should come back for the trimming demo. On trimming, well, that's terrible. Your pieces need to be leather hard. So if I have my pieces, and I threw these this morning, they've been sitting out all day, okay? If I go to bend it, it's not bending much, but it's still wet. If it's bone dry, it's really hard to trim. So you don't want to actually trim that. So we can soften that up, or we can do something else. I'm going to show you that in a second. So the things you need to be aware of for trimming. How thick is it from the center to the outside? Okay. And I'm not too worried about that. Usually we can tell pretty quickly. But this is a way to tell. You take something flat, put it just off of center, put a needle tool down at the bottom, and then hold that and bring it out. From the bottom of this to the top is how much thickness there is in the middle. Okay? So the way I throw about that, maybe just a little bit more. Okay? Now, centering, it's kind of like throwing our center. We need it to be round. Now, there's circles on here, and I'm going to place this on that circle so it's pretty even, but we center to the bottom. So if your rim is a little bit wonky, it's okay. We're going to center to the bottom, and I'm going to turn it on. Okay, I'm going to push this off center a little bit. So something I want you to look at, can you tell that that's off center? Can you tell, right? Because right here is the center. And what it's saying is there's more clay from this side to the middle than there is from this side to the middle, right? Hey, great reflexes. Okay, so I need to move that so that it's equal. Now you could measure it and go, like right now, I'm a good 1/2 inch off. So I'm gonna push it away from that spot, okay? And then I'm gonna do that again. Now, I'm not gonna keep running circles, but I am gonna put my thumb up here and let it hit my thumb. And then I'm gonna slow my wheel down, and it's hitting right here. Now, if you don't know, make some marks. So 1, 2, 3, and 4. So let's see where that's hitting. Hold it there. Yep, it's hitting right on 1. So that means there's more clay from here to there than from there to here. So I'm gonna push that away. We're gonna do that a couple of times. Now it's hitting on 4, which is right there. So I'm going to move it away. And it comes a point where you go, that's probably good enough. Okay? And then we're going to put some little clay lugs or clay turds down. Right? Because you just turn them into a little turd.
Come on.
No, seriously, that's what they're called. Look it up in any book. So I'm going to push down right here, serious, on the bowl, and I'm going to, no, I didn't say poop, I said turd. And I'm going to wrap that around. So show you this again. You're going to push straight down while my hand's on top, and I'm going to wrap it straight around. Now some of you will want to put these down and then try to center it. We've got to center it first and then put them down. Hold down your bowl and push that around. So now we're going to trim it. I like to start with my loop tool, which is this right here. And I come right here at 3 o'clock, okay? And I'm going to hold it like, I call this holding it like a paintbrush. This is a pencil, this is a paintbrush. Now I know some people paint like this, but just to distinct, this is how you hold it. elbows are going to be in. You're going to have your hands touched. So their thumbs are touching. I like to rest my hand on top here. And I'm just going to slowly push and trim. Now, I'm going to show you what a lot of you are going to do. You're going to just and hope for the best, right? We want to hold in one spot. Hold and let the tool, even if it's not the right spot, it's still better than just throwing your tool wherever you think it might go. So we're going to push down and hold that tool and then slowly move the tool. Slow movements. And we get a nice cut. Okay, trimming is something that takes a long time to learn. But if you do the basics, you'll get a decent trim, even if it's on accident. Okay, I'm trimming a foot. That's what it comes up and it trims up. Now, that's good, but it's kind of chunky down here, so we're gonna fix that. I like to use this tool, it's a ribbon tool, and I like to use the square side of the ribbon tool. Now here's a little tip for you. If you're gonna hit the edge of your clay, you use the flat part of your tool. If you're gonna hit the flat part of a clay, you're gonna use the edge of your tool, okay? So if I'm gonna hit this, I go with that. I'm gonna go in the middle here, I'm gonna use my corner, okay? And I start that, and I'm going to push that down. And I'm going to start in the middle, hit it with that corner, and just slowly move out. Okay, so that's starting to look good. Taking some of the clay off, it'll lighten up the bottom, and now I'm going to fix my rim here. I'm just pushing this on the side and slowly rolling over. So, again, back to holding your tool steady. If I move too fast, I create a line. Okay, can you see that line? But if I move slow, I can trim the clay. And I get a uniform line all the way around. So I've got to let that bowl spin multiple times. Okay, let me finish this up. And then I'm going to show you two other ways that I will allow you to trim. Okay, if you want to cut some designs into it, you certainly can.
What about that one way you were doing last week where you were like...
Oh, the chattering?
Yeah.
I'll do it on this other one. So from here, I'm going to come in and I'm going to sign it. Today is 4/23/21. Okay. And we take from here to there. Okay.
Wait, why'd you do that?
What? Those are called mouse holes. And it's just something I do. It helps to kind of lift, gives a little bit of an extra shadow. It's what cool people do. I don't know. I just do it. Now, it's just what I do. I don't know where I picked it up. I've been doing it for about 6 years. Okay, we check, and it's pretty solid. Now, I'm going to allow you to use this. This is called a Griffin grip. Now, if you're not paying attention, you will bend your bowl, and if your bowl is tiny, it won't fit. So, this has little pegs, and they're just going to go straight over like that, okay? And it's going to spin like this. Now, I have to open this up, so I'm going to push this going clockwise, and I just hold that, and it's going to open that up. And then I'm going to set this in there. See how I have those lines still? Then I'm going to go forward. And if you're not paying attention and it's too soft, you're going to squish your bowl. So it's a little sketchy, but I'm gonna just turn that on. It's gonna line up, kind of wiggle that. And that is pretty close to being centered. So if you want to do it this way, you're more than welcome to. Come on, pedal. Okay, and then I'm gonna just start trimming that. Hold steady. I'm not a huge fan of the Griffin grip, but it will make your life a little easier as you're brand new at trimming. It does kick your shavings off and not in your pan, so be ready to clean up a bigger mess. Okay, but it won't do small pieces. Okay, and I'm gonna just cruise through this real quick. I'm gonna chatter it and do the bottom. Clean this up. That right there is why it's called a ribbon tool, those little ribbons. Okay, and I'm gonna chatter it. Now, this is a little bit soft to chatter. We have that red tool right there. This is actually a better chattering tool. Now, chattering is a decorating technique, and literally this tool is going to bounce. So I like the red one over this one. This doesn't bend as much, and it's gonna bounce, and I'm gonna hold it. The further I hold it, the less of a bounce it has. So there's a big bounce, little bounce. The faster I go, also how I tilt it, also the texture of the consistency of my clay. So, see how it's just kind of smooth? I'm gonna come in, and it's gonna sit here. I'm gonna go fairly fast. And it's just chipping away at it, and it makes this cool little pattern. Something like that. And come in here, create a little line. And then if you put a translucent glaze on there, that pattern will come out really well. 4, 23, 21. Flip this in reverse. Okay. And then we have another cleaned up piece. Now, the very last thing I'm going to show you, and it can go for a trimmed up piece or a non-trimmed up piece. You see how this is not trimmed up, but it is bone dry. Okay, it's going to be a pain in the butt. It's a little thick, okay, but it's okay. I'm not going to try to trim it up too much. Let's say that's what you get, and you left it out, and you want to finish it. So you could come in and do this. It's going to be a pain. So I'm going to just smooth it out. So if you want to just follow me to the sink, just come over and then we'll be done. Okay, so I'm going to come over to the sink. And this has to be done on really hard leather hard or bone dry. So this isn't too bad. It's fairly smooth. I cleaned it up. It came off well. You can see some fingerprints. Okay, and you're just going to come in here. You're going to grab one of these blue pads. This also goes for a trim piece. If you trim it and it's not as smooth as you want it, let it almost dry all the way out, and you can come in and do this. So I'm just going to come in, and I'm going to hit it with this blue piece with the water. This is just a little scrubby. It doesn't take very long. I'm not trying to get it really wet, just the outside. I'm not trying to shape it. So I got that all scrubbed up. I'm gonna take a sponge. And I'm gonna smooth that out. And so you're taking something that wasn't perfect and you're going to just clean it up just a little bit so that you can turn it in. It'll look so much better than if you just take it in and turn it in. Spend a few seconds. How long was that? Less than a minute. And I took it from being a little bit chunky to being fairly smooth. Even though it's still thick and not trimmed, that's still a much better looking bowl. I thought someone puked, honestly.
No, Jordan's water broke. My fault.
Okay, any questions on that? So those are the 3 ways you can trim up. Again, this has to be done when it's way leather hard, almost bone dry, if not bone dry. Otherwise, you're just gonna squish your clay. So that has to be done when it's a good solid leather hard. So go ahead and get to it if you have questions.
Thank you.
Yep.